Senator Waythamoorthy is best known as one of the leaders of Hindra. He led his followers through a number of confusing shifts, including years in exile and an 8-month spell in the Vengadesan government after GE13. This time around, he's determined to deliver and has found himself with some broader issues as a minister in the Prime Minister's department in charge of national unity and social well-being. This is your second spell in government. What do you hope to accomplish this time around?
I've been given the unit in charge of the Indian community, and I've also been tasked with taking care of the minority community in this country, and I feel it's an honor. And I think now I'm able to do better, not only for the Indian community but also for the minority communities. I've engaged the Orang Asli, I've engaged the Siam community, and I'm yet to meet the other communities as well. But I'm certain I'll be able to assist them. I'm certain I'll be able to advocate their real issues.
Still, the root of his struggle has been to help poor and marginalized members of the Indian community.
Many have said that I'm race-centric, concentrating on the Indian community. I do admit that I advocate the rights of the marginalized Indian community, but I think it is a wrong perception to think that I am basing my struggle on the Indian community alone. I would say the Indian community is the most marginalized community in this country. We have been sidelined from the mainstream economy of the country for far too long. And normally in a democratic country, the majority race takes pride in championing the plight of the minority communities. It is really unfortunate in our country. The majority does not speak for the minority community. Therefore, I have taken upon myself to raise the plight of the Indian community. Whether it was the previous government or the current government, my stand is the same. I think the Indian community have a unique problem that is not faced by others.
What sort of concrete steps would you like to see being taken by this government to help the community?
I would like to see that the government carry out socio-economic programs which are specific and targeted, especially to these displaced estate community. They are no longer in the estates, they are probably now in flats and so forth. They need to be helped, and we are working on programs to increase their income so that they are not trapped in the poverty bracket.
So this is your second spell in government. You were actually part of the government from 2013 for just slightly less than a year.
8 months.
Can you tell us about that time and why you decided to resign?
2013, striking a deal with Vengadesan was not an easy thing for me. But we have to go back in history. In 2008, after the Hindra rally, we mobilized the people to support opposition en bloc, including PAS. And when the opposition then won big, we thought the major problems could be solved, especially involving the demolition of Hindu temples. And we thought our voice will be heard in Parliament, and in the 4 states that Pakatan ruled then, we thought that the land issues can be solved. But to our disappointment, it wasn't. So in 2013, after I returned, I prepared a blueprint for the Indian community, and I engaged both parties. But unfortunately, at that point of time, despite 22 meetings with Pakatan Rakyat, then we were unsuccessful. On the other hand, Vengadesan engaged us, and they offered to rectify the past mistakes. Of course, I did not believe them unless they were willing to put it in writing, which they did. Despite knowing that I will get brickbats, I did it for their sake. And I went in, and I was promised a unit, and I was promised budget, but nothing was forthcoming. Despite my many warnings, many reminders, the government did not budge, so I had to leave, and I left.
One of the things that's going on now in New Malaysia is leaders of the previous regime are suddenly being called up to MACC and facing courts. Is that a surprise to you?
No. I think it's a known fact in this country that most of these leaders were involved in many wrongdoings. The people were unhappy with it. I think with now that they are being called up. Initially, people were quite anxious that no action were taken, but I think now people are beginning to see that slowly these people are being dragged to courts, and they are being questioned by MECC and the police. I think people want to see justice at the end of the day.
For most of our interview, Waythamoorthy has been businesslike and full of determination. But our conversation takes a surprisingly emotional tone when I ask him about family time.
I lost that quality time. I only have one child, one daughter, and I think I've neglected her. To be very honest, I've neglected her from the age of probably 3.
How old is she now?
She's 16 now, and well, she grew up with a mother, and it's sad, this sometimes, that's a price I think we have to pay.
I think sometimes in activism, one of the things is to have a better country for our children.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling her. The little time that I spend with her, I've told her that I do things so that many other children will be able to benefit.